From design layouts to ways of knowing that you're cheating, I'm Bob from World 5 List, and join me as I reveal 9 secrets of the casinos that they don't want you to know. Number 9. The dealers, well, they don't really make that much. Now, to begin my list, I want you to think about your dream job, and more than likely, it's probably someplace where you can make money and have fun doing it, but not really minding coming in virtually every day to do it though, right? Well, at first glance, you may believe that a casino dealer, whether it be blackjack, poker, roulette, or some other game that requires a dealer, would be fun. After all, you're right in the middle of the casino action, and though it's not accurate, you technically hold all of the power in the cards. But think about this before you drop everything and go. It's you who shuffles the cards. It's you who spins the roulette wheel. And it's you who reveals who wins or loses. But what you may not realize is that despite all the money that's getting thrown around, the dealers actually work at minimum wage. No joke, they're literally the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the employees. Now, there are some casinos that may pay a little more for their dealers, especially certain high-end games, but on the whole, they only make the minimum. And this is why the dealers are told to be friendly with the customers in order to get tips. It's also a reason why the tip your dealer phrase came into practice. Because if you clean up one night and say, make $100,000, you doubled in one night what the dealer will make in the entire year. So be nice to the people dealing the cards, because they often deserve it. With that being said, number 8. Some dealers do cheat and steal. Now, they say that casinos are where people go to lose their money, and they're right more often than not. Yet some people do try to cheat the system and make sure that they don't, and I'll be talking about that later. However, one person that you probably would not expect to be a cheater is the dealer. After all, while they do work for the casino, they have no bias towards you. You're literally on the same level as they are. But that's the thing. You're on the same level, and that means they have the same impulses as you and your fellow gamblers. So they're not above cheating with another person to earn a score, or if they feel they can swipe a chip without getting caught, they'll do exactly that. Just like when you go to a casino, it's all about the money. Now, what's more funny is because dealers have tried to cheat and steal so much in the past that a lot of mandatory rituals are done when a dealer leaves the table. They have to expose their hands, move them around to show they didn't take anything on the sly as they leave, and should a dealer be caught cheating, they'll actually be arrested, sometimes at the table itself, in order to make an example of them and show others the cost. Oh, and other times, they'll be brought to the manager's office, exposed, and then taken away to jail. Now, this doesn't mean that you should be mean to them or ignore the previous entry and not give them a tip, but you should at least keep an eye out, just in case. Number 7. Security is tighter than you think. But first, why don't you let me know about your favorite casino in the comments below? If you're new here, be sure to subscribe before you leave, because we have lots of new videos coming up. Alright, now just think about Oceans 11 and 13, because we don't really talk about Oceans 12 here. Remember how deep and detailed the security was in those casinos? Well, you might think that after watching the movies and other casino films and shows that they exaggerated exactly how tight security is, but they didn't. There's a reason that true casino robberies don't really happen that often. Not that people don't make an attempt at it, but they're quickly put down. More common are the scams to try and cheat the casino out of their money, which is never a smart idea, but the security is actually so well trained that they know what to look for, even if you don't. The guards use cameras all over the casinos to read body language, look for clues as to how a person would be cheating, and it's all very complex. Can they prevent everything? Well, no, but they're certainly well equipped to try. And if you don't believe me, think back to the Oceans movies and all the things that the crew had to do to get one over on the owners. Because it takes a village. Number 6, you get investigated when you win big. Now just picture this. You've been playing the games all right, you've been doing okay, you've done poker and blackjack and maybe a few slots, and now you have the urge to play roulette. But you just get this feeling that to bet big, so you go on and do on 13. And then it hits. And then you walk away with $100,000. You're probably through the roof, right? But for security, they're looking into you the moment that you got declared the winner. Now, why are they investigating you? Well, it's because you won big, and as I noted before, they want to make sure that you didn't cheat. But don't worry, if you're clean and they're not going to touch you and you have nothing to worry about. It's the pit boss's job to ensure that big wins are actually legitimate. And given the luck of Las Vegas and other casinos, there are a lot of legitimate winners. It does happen, and it doesn't mean that they won't do their job though. Just never forget, while casinos do want your money, they also want you to stay there. And if they harassed every winner who made a legitimate win, no one would want to be there. So they'll check you out and then move on because that's their job. Number 5. Poker doesn't have as much security though. Security is a big topic for casinos, which is why it has numerous entries on my list, but I was surprised to learn that when it comes to the various forms of poker, security isn't really all that tight. But why though? Well, it's because the players aren't playing the house, they're playing against each other. Interestingly enough though, casinos don't make as much money as you would think during high-stakes poker games, and that's because all of the players get a set number of chips and try to take it from each other. Now, to that end, the players themselves are technically the security. They'll be watching each other to ensure that nothing untoward goes on. There is going to be some security around because they'll want to protect the dealer and the players in case something goes wrong, but in regards to looking out for cheaters, they don't really feel the need to scrutinize you as much. Number 4. Casino chips are really filthy. Now, this isn't exactly a mind-blowing revelation, but it's worth taking note for hygienic reasons. Casinos are meant to be clean. After all, if they're filthy, nobody's going to want to go there, especially to the buffet. But with all those chips, you might be surprised how dirty they actually are. After all, they're being touched by tons of different people all day long, and people bring chips to the tables where they're then touched by the players, the dealers, and other players who take them from both before and after winning. Now, when they're taken to the bank to be cashed in, they're then put back out onto other tables to be used. Now, I do suspect that maybe they do clean the chips eventually, but considering how long it may be until that point, and that casinos are running constantly 24 hours a day, once you're done playing for the night, you may want to go wash your hands. Number 3. Casinos are designed to keep you inside. Once you go in, they don't want you to leave until you spend all your money. They'll go to extreme lengths at times in order to ensure that you just wander outside. For example, they don't have clocks or windows, and yes, your cell phone has a clock, but when you're deep into a game and in the zone, you're likely not going to check it. Besides, it's kind of illegal to do at the table. As for the windows, if you look outside and see that it's light and now it's dark, that's going to signal your brain that you've been there for too long and you need to leave. Now, that's just the beginning though. The layout of the slots, the tables, and everything else is all designed to keep you away from the doors. The music of the slot machines and sometimes even the background are meant to keep you light and happy, for if you're happy, you're not going to want to leave. As if audio distractions and guides weren't enough, visually the casino is designed to be a spectacle. Bright lights, big signs, maybe a brand new car on a pedestal, the look of the tables and the machines, it's all meant to make you stimulated. And of course, I'm not talking about the attractive women they use to keep the men in check at the tables either. A lot of work goes into making a casino, and if you find yourself losing track of time while you continue to burn through your savings, you know that it's working. Number 2, there are games that are not actually stacked against you. Now, there are a lot of catchphrases associated with casinos, but the most popular one is, "The house always wins." That's because most games are actually stacked in favor of the house. After all, it's their house and they want to make the money. That being said, there are games that are actually not bent in the house's favor, and if you have a little skill and luck, you could actually do well. One of them is poker, because as I mentioned earlier, it puts you against each other and not the casino. There is a lot of luck involved, but there's also a lot of skill, and if you learn the game and learn how to read others, you could be a big winner. Blackjack is another one that isn't always in the house's favor. People will tell you that it is, but like poker, it's all about the cards and the ability to judge when to stop and when to hit. Personally, it's my favorite, and I've actually made a good bit of money playing it. Finally, there's Baccarat, and while it may not be the most popular game at the casino, it does have some low minimum bets. And the way you play the game is by betting on the player or the banker. That's it, really. So do your research and play some free versions of the games online before you go, and it may help you win when you play for real. Number 1, there are games that are meant to totally screw you. Now, while the casinos will never admit it, there are games designed to fully rip you off. I mentioned poker and blackjack previously as games that can be good, but there are variations of the classics that casinos employ to basically rob you blind. Games like 3-card poker or double exposure blackjack, to name a few. Sometimes the house advantage can be 9% or even higher, which is insanely wild in the gambling world. And these are just a few of the games that are rigged in their favor. Slot machines can also be used to rob people blind because people will see a big payout possibility, but the games themselves are so complicated that it's difficult to get the right combo to win. It's fine to experiment, but just know that if you go off the basic games, you may just be in trouble. Financial trouble, that is. Thanks for watching. Let me know about your experience in the casino. Have you ever won big? How much was it? And do you still go? Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you again soon.